Hey, it's Druidsfire coming at you with another video about Dungeons & Dragons Online. This one is taking a look at this week's preview on the Lamania test server of the Dhampir iconic race, the hireling that's coming with the next expansion, and a couple other little shenanigans along the way. Now we finally have learned the name of the expansion. It's called The Chill of Ravenloft. And be like, well, they already have a Ravenloft expansion, don't they? In 2017? Yes, but Ravenloft is kind of like, think of it as like a continent, and every country on that continent is a different domain of dread. Barovia was the setting of the Ravenloft, the Mists of Ravenloft expansion. Now this one, The Chill of Ravenloft, is set in Lamordia. So we're going to take a quick look at a couple different things coming on that are currently available on Lamordia, and we found out that the name of the expansion from earlier today was on a website called bloody-disgusting.com. There's a lovely little article on there, and it just basically talks briefly about, gives the name of the expansion and has a nice little graphic and talks a tiny bit about the lore behind it, saying, exploring classic gothic horror, the Chill of Ravenloft is set in the frosty realm of Lamordia, which is cursed to be trapped in an endless winter. Famine threatens the land. People are counting on the inventions of the brilliant Dr. Victor Mordenheim to save them. Yet Dr. Mordenheim hides a sinister secret. A secret which the players must uncover to thwart the land's curse. The journey will lead them to fight greedy grave robbers, mad scientists, strange monsters, and Dr. Mordenheim's own chilling creations in a decaying, snowbound industrial city. So that's pretty cool. It goes on to add that The Chill of Ravenloft will be available for pre-order soon. I'm guessing maybe next week. We'll find out. There will be a video about that too, I imagine, once the goodies start circulating, and we can take a look at those too. Because I believe the hireling that we're about to preview is one of those goodies. So let's get into it. But first of all, there's something new that's coming to DDO for the very first time. And that is something called a movement style. Now, for those who play Standing Stone's other game, Lord of the Rings Online, you may be familiar with these. It's basically what it is something you turn on, it's a little toggle, and your character moves differently than they normally do. And in this particular preview on Lamania, you have to be a human male for it to work. That's just in testing. It's going to be available for whatever. But I think just for this first preview, they're just having it for that. So we're going to go hang out here with good old Red, who's in the test dojo, and I'll show you what it looks like. It's really cool, actually. What it is however you acquire it, we do not yet know how that's going to happen. However, once you have it, it'll be on your feats. If you're going to be playing on Lamania this week, you talk to the Keymaster. Not of Gozer, just the Keymaster. And he will give you that. Alright, that being said, it turns into a feat in your feats list. The really cool thing is coming up with the update that's coming to the game on the 4th of June, when I'm shooting this video tomorrow. All cosmetic feats will now be in their own separate category in the feat thing. Yes! I love it. Okay, so it's currently using the same icon as for the lightning one from VIP, but we're gonna, and you just slide it to your, click it to your hotbar and just turn on. And you look like this. I don't know, it kind of reminds me that you're hanging off of a meat hook, almost. That you're looming over your prey, and it moves with you, and your legs kind of do a little bit of a thing there. See, look at that. And then when you're jumping, it looks like that. And I do believe they had a thing on the forums saying where they didn't work, and there's a whole pile of forum threads on the DDO.com forums discussing all of the changes And we're going to include the links to these in the video down below. So known issues. Right now, characters that are not human male currently don't use movement styles yet. It says, during this preview, the Mist Walker Mist effect doesn't temporarily dissipate like it's supposed to during certain situations, such as while performing particular combat actions. The avatar's body moves correctly, but the mist is still visible. For this Lamani, we do want you to report times when you see this behavior, blah, blah, blah. It's supposed to suppress itself when you're doing certain things, but it's supposed to suppress itself when you're sneaking, when you're tripping things, cleaves, diplomacy buff, intimidate, seated on a mount, standing on a mount, emotes such as dance and teleporting. So it's not supposed to work when you're dancing. Let's go see what we're doing. See? It's supposed to go away. Now, one thing I don't know, we're not gonna really mess with this. This is basically what it is. It just looks like that, and you know you can mess with it, and it looks pretty cool. Obviously intended to go for Dhampir, and then you turn it off and it goes away. Boop. However, I'd like to point out something that I noticed, and I don't know if this is intended or not. We'll find out. Is if you have it turned on and you sign out to character select, it does this. It's actually kind of cool, and I hope they keep it. Honestly, I hope they keep it so they can. But to be fair, I don't know what other cosmetics do the same thing. Question mark. We'll find out in a minute, because I did transfer one of my characters, or copy one of my characters over from Orion to see what happens. So you'll notice on the character select screen, it's still there, so you can see that it's turned on. And to compare against this character, yeah, I guess it makes sense, because this character has the blue wings from Year of the Dragon. So this character is going to do the next thing that we're going to take a quick look at. It's not going to be an intense look, but we do want to take a look at the hireling. It's going to take a few minutes because we're going to check both of them, because the hireling has the heroic version, which in previous quests, or in previous expansions, the heroic hireling would be one that would appear. Let's go to the marketplace. Let's go to the marketplace. The heroic hireling would be with the collector's edition of the expansion, the middle tier, and then the legendary, the top, the max level ish hireling would come out at you have to get the ultimate fan bundle for that. So I don't expect that to be changing. That would be surprising, but let's go to the test dojo and take a look and see what we got. So this character, we're gonna go take this character for a spin out in the wilderness. Ignore the flying carpet, that's from a previous expansion, so we don't know what the new mount is going to be yet. Probably next week's Le Mans. I think what they might wind up doing is kind of trickling things in for us to take a look at. So the hireling is a mysterious alchemist. Yoink and yoink. Level 8 and level 34. I think on the first Lamania preview, which it wasn't ready for prime time, it was a level 32, so they fixed that, or updated it. Hey, it's our good friend Tough, fellow DDO streamer. Alright, let's go find a quest to go putz around in. Let's go find something fun and quick to play in. And honestly, it doesn't matter. So let's go to Mr. Anor, because I like Mr. Anor a lot. I should go to Ravenloft, but no, I'm not going to worry about it. And when I looked at the hireling last week, during the content creator preview, or shortly thereafter, the hireling had no clothes. So we'll see what outfit they put on him. And then after we check out the hireling, we will then hop over and talk about the iconic Dhampir. I love this character so much. I haven't played her in a long time, mainly because she's on Orient, and well, after getting spoiled on Cormier, I kind of don't care how. I mean, my stuff's on Orient, but I don't have enough stuff to really be that fussy about it. Okay, that being said, let's get our hireling on. Oh my god, look at all the junk in my inventory. And she's still using Rana's thing and icon, so it's a little confusing. This is level 8, and that is level 34. And I do still like the... Let me bring this up here so you can see it. It doesn't actually matter. Let's click on that. Alright, so the flavor text says Egon is always helpful, but there's something off about him. Honestly, it kind of gives me Egon Spengler vibes, and in fact, last week, it inspired me to go watch Ghostbusters Afterlife again. And that movie made me very sad, and I cried again. But it also raised so many questions. But we're not going to talk about that now. We're going to first start with the level 8 hireling. We're just going to go take a look and see what skills he has. Hello. What are you wearing? Oh. Look at the plague. Hold on. Hold. I do like the spectral dagger. I know a lot of players who'd be like, I want this outfit for me. Plague Doctor. Oh, look at that. That looks baller. Hold on. Let me get... Well, I can't... Whatever. Okay. That looks so cool. Okay. His skills at level 8 are Caustic Solvent. Toss a bottle of acrid liquid at a group of enemies, causing caustic acid to eat away at their flesh for significant acid damage. Deals 4 to 9 acid damage per caster level, max level 15, to all affected enemies. D&D dice deals 1d6 plus 3 acid damage, max 15d6 plus 45. Successful reflex save reduces damage by half. Also, we have Panacea, which is basically heal, channels powerful. It's basically the same spell as Panacea. 3 to 8 hit points plus an additional 1 per caster level, max plus 20. Removing temporary ability damage and the conditions bleeding, blinding. This is like reading the side effects on a medical thing. It's like, or, you know, a certain cough syrup ad. The conditions: bleeding, blinded, confused, dazed, dazzled, deafened, diseased, exhausted, and fatigued, feeble-minded, insanity, nauseated, and poisoned. Against undead, this spell will do damage of 3 to 8 hit points plus 1 per caster level, max plus 20. Undead who make a successful will save reduce the damage by half. Please stick a period after that max plus 20. You forgot your punctuation, Standing Stone. So, okay, next, a lovely spell for an alchemist, Melt Lock. Throw caustic liquid at a nearby locked object, attempting to dissolve the lock. If successful, the lock will be opened. If it can be picked by a rogue, making an equivalent open lock check. Functions basically, it's a lock spell. Alchemists are fun with that. Also, we have Glue Bomb, which is a 23-second duration. Lava glass vial. Little glass vial. Okay. Of sticky organic glue, trapping enemies within its embrace. Enemies that fail a reflex save become stuck in place. Victims of the glue may attempt to free themselves every 4 seconds with a successful strength check. Lasts 15 seconds plus 1 per level. I'm gonna get a screenshot of this dude and throw it onto the Discord real quick. Zoop. Man. Plague Doctor for the win. Alright, get that out of there. I just wish I could get a better shot of him before he turns to face me. Alright, let's post that on the forums. Plague Doctor Hireling for the win. Love it. Okay. Let's get rid of him. And we're going to have to wait a little bit before we can summon the other version. So we're going to have a little chat. So, while we're waiting on that, we are going to preview the Dark Bargainer, which is the iconic warlock version of the Dhampir. And we'll take a look at something else before we even get to that. A new thing coming to the game called Dark Gifts. And the Dark Gifts are really cool. And I do want to link the post from Lamania about what this is. And it's actually really cool. So we're going to talk about this while we wait on the cooldown. So what Dark Gifts is something that is specifically set up to be basically anyone can take these are tradable feats. The Dark Bargainer Dhampir must choose one. They don't get a choice. But they're all mid-level 1. And the really cool thing is Dhampir have to take one in this particular build that's not set up yet, that they have to take it. But each of these dark feats, you can only have one per character. Dark Bargainers must pick one. And these feats, as the Torque posted on the forums, they represent a bargain you've made with the dark powers. They're based on the Dark Gifts in Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft, and they're intentionally stronger or more flexible than many standard feats. So the good of these feats, they're OP, but there's a fatal flaw in all of them. However, being a pact with the dark powers, each of them comes with a significantly, relatively unavoidable, and never negatable drawback. So there's the risk-reward thing that players are going to have to decide if it's worth the risk to get this thing. It's a little bit like a bit of chaos magic from the Chaos Mancer from before, but this is going to be something that you will have to deal with, rather than using some things in the Chaos Mancer tree to avoid, the bad chaos surges or whatever. Let's go see. Are we ready to go? Nope, 2 more minutes. Excellent. Let's keep going. So, that said, the balance they're looking for is having the power be strong enough and the drawback be significant enough where each feat can be worth taking, but isn't always worth taking. The risk should be considerable, and the payout, if you do take it, significant. They'd like to end up with a list where most builds have at least one feat that could be applicable to that build. And he uses a lot of bold text for this, like the stuff about significant, relatively unavoidable, never negatable, is in bold. The whole part about having the power be strong enough and the drawback be significant enough where it can be worth taking but not always, bold. And he reiterates again in bold, these are meant to be risky and are not intended to be for new players or those not looking to deal with this level of risk and reward. So you may see the nice juicy carrot, but you don't want to get the rotten carrot, right? So it's really cool. And we're going to take a look at these when we start our Dhampir, because remember the Dhampir Dark Bargainer has to pick one. It's not set up to do that in this Lamania build, but we're going to pick one. We're going to take a look at them when we can do the Dhampir. But first, can I summon? 43. What am I going to talk about? So this information is pretty much, it's not really going to be evergreen. Sorry, it is what it is, but I did want to take a look at it to let you see what's going on here. And to get the first look at the new hireling to see what they can do. I personally love playing Alchemist. I have one over on Orion, and ironically I'm using Strimtom's Sunflask build with a little extra spice because he built that build before they overhauled the Epic Destiny, so I had to figure some stuff out, but that's actually kind of fun for me, so it is what it is. Alright, let's go. 4 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Yay! Alright. So I don't know if the character's name is Egan Drossheart or Eigen Drossheart, or if Eigen is even supposed to be part of it. But again, we have our... Oh man, that plague doctor look. I have a suspicion we ourselves might get a plague doctor sort of thing going on. But as you can see, some of the skills are... The two skills on the ends are different. So now we have multi-vial of acid. As somebody who loves multi-vial, oh yes, yes please. Conjuring many bottles of caustic liquid, you throw 4 projectiles that explode on impact, with each dealing 4 to 7 acid damage per caster level to all nearby foes. Max caster level 20. Deals 1d4 plus 3 acid damage per caster level per projectile. Max 20d4 plus 60. Successful reflex save reduces the damage by half. Shares a cooldown with all other multi-vial spells. Well, that's good. He only has the one active one that you can select. I'm sure he has others. Alright. He also has Panacea. Same stuff, different day. And then we have Melt Lock. Again, same stuff, different day. And then his last one is Elemental Combination. And this is basically through a single bottle of a volatile magical concoction that deals an intense combination of poison, fire, cold, acid, and electric damage with 3 effects chosen randomly each time. Deals 1d3 plus 3 damage for a random 3 selections among poison, fire, cold, acid, and electric. So 5 choices. It's going to pick 3. Per caster level, max 20d3 plus 60 per element. Tasty. Reflex save reduces the damage by half. And I'm not sure the icon is correct. It has a fighter icon on it, which is interesting. It should be the Alchemist icon because Drossheart's an Alchemist. Alright, that being said, let's get out of here with this character. We're going to go make a brand new Dhampir. I love these. They're so good. I wonder how Cold Druid is going to work. Any frozen land. Alright, let's go back to character select. We're going to make a brand new Dhampir Dark Bargainer. And by the name itself gives you the idea where they're going with this. Is like you're making a pact with dark forces, these dark powers. So that's pretty cool. So let's create a new character. In order to get access to the class, the iconic on Lamania, you need to talk to Sir Points a lot, get you some Lamania DDO points, and then just go buy it out of the DDO store for 1 point. Alright, we got the iconic selections. We're going to pick Dark Bargainer, which of course are using the base Warlock look here. But I do like the fact that the hands are blue, this purplish stuff. It's so good. There is already artwork up here, little things going on. And of course, there's nothing written here to be determined. The most important abilities is Eldritch Blast. So, the regular Dhampir race is a +2 strength race, but the iconic Dhampir Dark Bargainer is a +1 intelligence, +1 charisma race. And I know some people are like, well, why isn't it +2 of something? But it's like, you can go either way with those. You can be like the smarty pants, or you can be the Riz. Anywho, I wish they would put these in alphabetical order, but, you know, it is what it is. Alright. And the appearances are pretty much the same. Either way, these are, you can see they're the same appearance options that we had for the regular one. So, I can see they still haven't fixed the lower thing on the eyelid. That's okay, they'll get to it. So we're gonna make a lady vamp because I like the lady smirk more than the dude smirk. The lady smirk is, Alright. You have to choose customize. There isn't anything here. There aren't any paths to play with. So, let's go here. Because this is a caster build, you got to think about casting stuff. String table error, very nice. Builds, I'm sure, will be coming out. Suggestions from folks like Strimtom, Axel, Voodoo, all the usual folks who do a lot of videos about theory crafting. I'm not going to theory craft because I don't do it. I follow a build, and if I want to season the taste, I do that. Because I don't know all the stuff the way that these guys do, and I thoroughly respect them, and I'd say go watch their videos if you want to know what this is going to be good for. I'm just going to take a look at it based on what I've currently played, so my information is not going to be as in-depth and, you know, figuring out all the synergies. So what I'm thinking here is, well, we want to stay alive, so Constitution. We also, this is intelligence and a charisma class, or, you know, right? Iconic. So we're going to put some points in intelligence, and we're going to put a bunch of points in charisma. I don't know which is which. It doesn't matter in terms of, well, I know which is which, duh. I'll put one there, put one there. So, yeah. We're just going to go with that. And, oh my god, pick all the things. Again, I'm not really going to fuss with all of this stuff. I would imagine that a lot of these will go along with Warlock builds. It's like, what are you building for a Warlock? Pick these options. So, I'm going to not even pretend that I know what I'm doing. So, I'm just going to pick things to spend this points because we want to take a look at the cosmetic appearances. I just want to get rid of them. Who cares? Again, we're not fussed about it. Okay, so these are the dark gifts that everybody will have access to for their classes. But dark bargainers will be forced to pick one. But we'll start with the class feat first. Show special only is one of my favorite buttons. Okay, so as you can see, we have all the usual packs here. Celestial Fae Fiend, the Great Old One, the Abyss. People thought this would be a new Abyss Warlock. Yeah, nope. The Karsheri Storm. And this is the new one, Packed Dark Powers. We're going to move it over here so we can get the tooltip where you can see it. Your patron is among the dark powers of Ravenloft, calling to you from the mists. If you can remain in their within their favor, they will allow you to manipulate the mists, bringing power and death. Toggle it on. Your Eldritch Blast deals +1 evil damage, plus 1d6 per bonus packed dice. This damage is halved on a successful will saving throw versus DC 19 plus charisma mod plus evocation bonuses. So this is why you pour points into charisma. Okay, actually, you know what? I want to take a few steps back. I want to see, let's take a point out of intelligence. I want to see how we can max out. Okay, charisma is max at 19. Interesting. Normally, from my understanding, it's always best to go round numbers because it increases the mods. I know that much. So, having this at 19 and not giving you the opportunity to get it to 20 is kind of rude. Let's see. Yeah, it maxes out at 19. That's fascinating. Fascinating. Okay, well, we'll max it out at 19. Now we're at -4 points. Oh, we'll take them out of Intimidate. We're not intimidating. We're very much a Riz thing. Okay, so, Pact of Dark Powers. Why you might want to pick one of the other ones, flavor, but I think most of the folks will probably start trying this one and see how it is. You know? And then we will pick another feat. And so, again, these dark gifts are going to be available to all classes, all races. It's only Dark Bargainer has to pick one. So, we have Echoing Soul. Your soul is fractured, shifted, or connect. So basically, it's like, here's the good. Here, do you want the good news or the bad news? All right. Your soul is fractured, shifted, or connected to another inside. Let's bring this one over here. That way we can all read them in the same place. Gain +3 to all skills, plus an additional +1 for every 2 character levels. So at max level 34, you're getting 12 plus 12 to all skills, plus the base +3, so +15 to all skills. Ooh. Gain +1 to all saving throws, plus an additional +1 for every 3 character levels. The downside, though, when you get hit with melee or ranged attacks, there is a very small chance your echoing soul will cause you to become afraid, blinded, or immobilized for 6 seconds with no save. Immunities to these conditions do not apply to this effect. So if you normally have an ability or another feat that gives you immunity to blindness, good luck. Because, yes, a very small chance it's going to override that. And that's what they're talking about when it's going to be a significant risk. Because if it was something simple that your normal stuff, everybody would just build around it, and just negate the bad stuff. The whole point is you're risking the bad stuff. We don't know what the percentage chance is, but any chance that isn't 0 is a chance, right? So that's fascinating. Okay, so number 2 is Form of Pain. And that one is your body is cursed to be prone to all manners of damage, but with the ability to withstand it. Okay. So it says the downside is when you take damage, your body changes and you gain the Form of Pain effect, which grants +2 PRR MRR, but also reduces movement speed and increases spell points by 1% as the pain distracts you. This can stack 10 times, so increases your spell cost by 10%. Ooh. With 1 stack being removed every 5 seconds. Ooh, that's hot. Alright, Living Shadow. I like how the icons are like dragons. Okay. Your shadow extends beyond your reach, acting out your dark impulse, nearly doubling your range with melee weapons. Ooh, that's sexy. The downside, though, yet there is a small chance. I think that means chance. Oh, a small change? There's a small I think that means they meant chance. When you critical hit a target that the shadow drains you briefly, reducing your damage by 15% for 6 seconds, this could only occur once every 30 seconds. Ooh, doubling your melee range, but you could lose damage by 15% for 6 seconds. Ooh. That could be toasty. Okay, Minion of the Eldritch looks like it's something you could actually... These are passives. These are passives, and these 2 are active ones. Okay. Okay, cooldown to 2 minutes. Does this have a cooldown? They shouldn't, no. Well, these are skills. Okay, your soul has touched something beyond the planes, and a connection has formed there. To activate, you gain +5 spell power per character level, and +1% spell critical damage for every 2 character levels you have for 12 seconds, with the 2-minute cooldown. So, at level 34, +5 times 6, times 12, that's a lot. So it's additional 60 spell power. Hold on, 14, no, that's not 12, that's 20. I'm mathing badly, chat. I just called you chat, sorry. And 1% for every 2 character levels. So the 1% would be 17. Yeah, 17. Okay, so 17 times 5 and then 17 times 1. That's pretty sexy. However, when you use this ability, there's a chance the eldritch being you reach out to will grow tired of your petitions and decide to punish you instead. Ooh, that's a good downside. This chance increases each time you use this ability between rests. Ooh. So if you keep hitting this every 2 minutes, You're gonna piss something off and it's gonna kick your ass. I like it. I like the idea a lot, actually. Alright, there's Mistwalker, another activation option. And you have learned to navigate, this has a 15-second cooldown. You've learned to navigate the mist with time and a little luck. Trigger this ability to leap forward and briefly gain a +5 bonus to reflex saves and a stacking 20% bonus to incorporeality defense. The feat shares a cooldown with Abundant Step. Okay. The downside is, when using this ability, there is a small chance the mist will nearly catch up and you'll become exhausted for 6 seconds. A negative 50% penalty. Learn how to spell Standing Stone. Or at least type. To movement speed. -6 to strength and dexterity. Cannot tumble. Normal immunities or remedies to exhaustion will not protect against this. That could be fun, and then you get your ass kicked. A lot of these are that way. You can have a lot of fun, but you risk getting your ass kicked. I like it. Again, and they're being very open about this is the point. This is the point to override all of your usual things to help negate bad stuff happening to you. You have to take the risk. It's up to the player to decide, do they want that reward? I like it. Touch of Death. Every touch causes life to wilt, but you can use this power if you know the way. Something. Gain +3 negative spell power and negative healing amps per character level. Lose 5 positive spell power and healing amps per character level. So I don't know if that one's necessarily so bad. Because if you're doing like a Pale Master build or something like Dark Apostate, you kind of want the extra negative spell power and negative healing amps. So I don't know about that one. Okay, and then the last one, Webbed Touch Wetch. Is that right? Oh, it's supposed to be Wretch. Did I look at that one? I did. So it's supposed to be Wretch. Okay. You become entwined with a great cosmic web, which occasionally becomes coterminous with reality. Your offensive spells, melee and ranged attacks, occasionally cause strange spectral webs to coat your enemies, either slowing them or entangling them for up to 6 seconds with no save. When you get hit with melee or ranged attacks, there's a small chance the webs turn on you, applying a weakened slow effect which lasts 6 seconds but can stack 3 times. Spells immunities like freedom of movement do not prevent this. Again, this is the whole point where they are overriding some of the usual tricks that we use to get around things. I'll be a minion tonight because it doesn't actually matter. I'm just gonna pick things. I'm gonna train one spell. We'll go with Doom because Doom is fun. I like the sound of that word, according to Skeletor in the 1990s He-Man show. Alright, we'll pick the randomize button a few times. One thing I did notice, and I didn't mention this in the last video about the OG Dhampir, is that the Umbra only works on the new hairstyles, like the ancient hairstyles, that, you know, like this one, you notice no Umbra. So, this is a Hobbit hairstyle from Lord of the Rings Online, I'm just saying. Well, it's an older one. So let's randomize it until we find something we like. Kind of like her. Ooh, evil. Evil. She kind of has a little bit of the smirk, but I like different eyebrows on her. Because there's one eyebrow that you can have on the ladies that's really good with the smirk. I like that one too. That one's a good one. I don't think this is the face that has the proper smirk. And it has, you know, the same ears and whatnot that the other ones had, so the facial details are all the same. I don't think they've actually updated the appearance for this character. think the head number that I was looking at was like 22. There we go, with the little arched eyebrow, little smirk. I love it. Okay, so here's our lady. Here's our good friend. Let's mess with her hair a bit. Let's make her hair match. We need that. We need the purple going on here. Finding something close to that purple. Swoosh it out. There, that's pretty close. Lawful good. That's funny. We're gonna go chaotic neutral, and I think we're good. I'm gonna pick a name that I'm pretty sure is not in use on Lamania. There we go. We are a level 1 warlock. Oh, and I forgot to make the rest of her hair a different color, but that's fine. This is Lamania. This is not for realsies. And I'm not worried about her jewelry either. It's all the same stuff for the regular Dhampir, so go take a look at the regular Dhampir thing where we went and mucked about with the appearances. So now we're going to go on the airship long enough to check out... Well, oh hey, we'll be here. Because we're an iconic. Ha ha! That's right. Way out. Load. DDO UI. There we go. Alright. So it doesn't matter what we're doing here. We are here to take a look at... Not that. We want to take a look at the last thing tonight, which is the enhancement trees. And this is just the racial enhancement because this is an iconic. It's not an archetype. So you get all of the same warlock shenanigans here that you get for any warlock. The difference is the racial stuff. And this one has icons now, except that one doesn't have an icon. Okay, so let's go take a look at the actual stuff on the Dhampir. That's the regular one. Okay. So there is a file on the forums, and I will link it. Hopefully they don't change the link to it. And it will tell you about what's going on. And one of the big things they did is they have changed the racial vampiric bite for both the regular and the iconic. It will no longer have charges, but it will have a 15-second cooldown. And there's already folks talking about how some of the updates are good, some of the updates are indifferent, whatever. Okay, so what's different between this and the other? Firstly, again, 1 intelligence, 1 charisma. They get the dark gift feat that we just went over the dark gifts, so they have to pick one of those. And it's not recognized here in the enhancement tree. One thing to note is the Dark Bargainer's ability is a choice between Constitution, Intelligence, and Charisma, whereas the regular one is Strength, Constitution, and Charisma. So the Intelligence got swapped out, or the Strength got swapped out for Intelligence, which is very nice. Okay, in Tier 1, everything's the same except this particular item. Manipulate the Mists. +1 Pact die. When you hit a target who is inside a Dread Mist zone with Eldritch Blast, it gains 1 stack of Growing Dread. This effect does nothing on its own. And can apply to each creature once per second and can stack up to 30 times. If a creature is outside of Dread Mist for 10 seconds, it loses all stacks of Growing Dread. Okay, very nice. And also on Tier 1, there's an SLA called Dread Mist, which it takes 4 spell points to cast with a 12-second cooldown. And that is over here. So SLAs means you use your metas on them. Ooh, meta magics for the win. Create a small area of mist that lasts for 20 seconds. Enemies inside the mist have their movement slowed by 20%. -2 to will saving throws and take 1d2 evil damage per caster level every 2 seconds. So that is a lot. Well, not a lot, but it's interesting. Okay. So in Tier 2, the different thing is Prey on Fear. Target enemy at touch range takes a 1d6 +2 evil damage per caster level. Additionally, if the target is inside a Dread Mist zone, it deals 1d4 evil damage for each stack of Growing Dread. that creature has will save for half the damage on each effect. Kind of neat. Tier 3, there is one called Vampiric Blast. This is a stance. So, +1 Eldritch Blast die, +1 Pact die, while using Focused Blast Shape, cone. Your Eldritch Blast heal you for 1d3 hit points in positive energy. It's not a lot, honestly. If you have Deathly Bite, this is instead negative energy. I was going to ask about that. Alright. And in Tier 4, that's not the right item. Oh, Tier 4, duh. So, the regular Dhampir has Ascendant Bite. The Iconic has the Dark Ascendant Bite. And basically, it switches out the strength. So, it's the the thing is still the same, except it's DC 16 plus the highest of Con Intelligence and Charisma, not Con Strength and Charisma. Plus stunning bonuses. Where is it? Plus necromancy bonuses. The other one was not necromancy bonuses. Let me go look. I didn't mean to close that window. Thank you. Bring you back here. Okay, so Tier 4, the other one was enchantment bonuses, which is kind of weird if you think, why is enchantment on the one that's strength built? So the regular Dhampir gets Ascendant Bite, which is strength, con, charisma mod, the highest of those, and stunning bonuses plus enchantment bonuses. But the Iconic gets highest of con, int, cha mod plus stunning bonuses plus necromancy bonuses, or die. Okay, it's kind of cool. Okay, and we switch out a couple of the other options. We now have the Crushing Dread SLA. Target enemy at touch range takes 1d6 plus 8 evil damage per caster level. Additionally, if the target is inside a Dread Mist zone, it deals 1d20 evil damage for each stack of growing dread the creature has. Will save for half damage on each effect. Level 4 Necromancy. 8 spell points with 15-second cooldown. There you go. And the last one is Form of the Lord Vampire. While you have Embrace Death toggled, that is down here, you gain +1 enchantment and necromancy DC, so you get both options there. +10 negative and 4 spell power, and +10 spell penetration. That's sexy. But everything else is pretty much the same as the regular Dhampir. And the Dark Bargainer Dhampir have access to that exclusive pack we mentioned, the Dark Powers, that's not available to any other Warlock. Only Dhampir Dark Bargainers can get it. It's not a mandatory take. You may still select another pack. If you lesser reincarnate into Acolyte of the Skin, the archetype, you can't take the Dark Powers, even if you are a Dhampir Dark Bargainer. Because Acolyte requires you to take a specific pack. You're not required to take a specific pack for this, because this is an Iconic, not an archetype. Okay, so there's a chart on the forum thread, which is going to be linked afterwards, that basically goes through the spells, what you're going to get. Your alignment restriction required at character creation, there is none. So you can be any alignment you want to be in character creation for whatever you want. You can't be evil in DDO, but you can be chaotic, you can be lawful good. Wouldn't that be funny? Oh, I'm not sure how that would work, being lawful good and all of this, but it's a matter of faith, I guess, and choices. As a first level spell, you get a new Dread Mist spell, Create a small area of mist that lasts for 20 seconds. Enemies inside the mist have their movement slowed by 20%. Negative. Basically, it's the dread mist thing on here. Not that. This thing. But you get a version of it as a first level spell, so you could get the racial and the first level spell and have dual wielding spells. Dual wielding dread mist. In case, like, the dude you're fighting steps out of the one you placed, well, you can place another one. And he's in that one. He keeps his stuff. And so your first special ability at level 6 is Mist Favored. Your Dread Mist damage changes to 1... Well, okay. Second level spell at level 5. You get Lesser Death Aura. Let me actually do this. Let me bring this in here so you can read along with me at home. We'll play the home game today. I should have had this queued up, but I didn't think about it, so good job me. Alright, here we are. Boop. Plop. Again, this is from the forums, so we're going to maneuver that around so you can see me while I'm reading this to you. Alright. There we are. Alrighty. So, this was... we read through all of this. The orange stuff is the stuff that's specific to the iconic Dark Bargainer. And down here is the stuff that I'm reading right now. Okay. So, New Dread Mist, we just read that off. Level 5 spell, Lesser Death Aura. Level 6 is your first special ability, Mist Favored. Your Dread Mist damage changes to 1d3 per caster level. And this increases to 1d4 at character level 12. And third level spell at level 9 is Negative Energy Burst. Fourth level spell at level 14, Death Aura. Your second special ability at level 15 is Call on the Mists. Enemies in a small area who are currently affected by Dread Mist must make a saving throw, DC 15 plus the highest of Intelligence or Charisma mod, plus Necromancy bonuses, or die, being consumed by the mists. 20 spell points, 25-second cooldown. Level 17, you get a 5th level spell, and Dust to Dust. But this is basically the same as Disintegrate, but it's Necromancy schooled. 6th level spell, level 19, Greater Death Aura. And there's the frequently asked questions at the bottom of the file. The iconic tree is very Eldritch Blast focused to the point where I can't use chunks of it if I multi-class out of Warlock. What gives? And Torque's answer was they wanted to create an icon that really heavily encouraged Eldritch Blast use, but this is still an outstanding point. We would like to add other ways to generate growing dread that don't necessarily rely on Eldritch Blast, but also aren't just better than using Eldritch Blast. For instance, on melee hit would generate growing dread far faster, so why use Eldritch Blast at that point? They're open to ideas on that one, so if you have any ideas before this goes live, drop into the forum threads and say your say. Why be this around a fog spell? Fog spells are slow and they obscure vision. And he says this one casts faster than most other fog spells, and if you have both the Pact spell and the SLA, you can get a few out at a time. The FX is low to the ground, should not interfere with visibility at all, and the effects of the Death Mist only hit enemies. We encourage you to try it on Lamania for yourself before giving feedback on it. Will the Dark Gift Pact and Utter Dark Blast? Can I have both my base blast and pact damage be evil? Yes! You can be double evil across the sky. What does the healing and vampiric blast scale with? Positive, negative healing amps primarily. It doesn't scale with spell power, as that'd be a colossally larger number. It's meant to be closer to weapons vampirism. If I have multiple Dark Bargainers in my party, do our stacks of growing dread stack together? Yes, they do. Alright. So, we need to get to this character off to the thing. I mean, at this point, a lot of the rest of this is just going to be theory crafting. So I'm going to defer to the folks who know theory crafting way more than I do. And we are going to call it here because I actually have to go to class in about an hour at this time. So Do check this out on Lamania this week. I imagine they're probably going to do another Lamania in the next couple weeks. We don't know yet. So keep an eye to the ground. Keep following the DDO socials on DDO Unlimited on both Twitter and now on Blue Sky. Yay! Finally, Cordovan did the thing. You can also join the official DDO Discord. If you don't know the link, it's on DDO.com, or you can go to twitch.tv/DDO stream and do !Discord in chat, and it will pop up the invitation link for you. And yeah, thanks for watching. Again, if you like this sort of content, throw a like on the video. If you like anything on there, just subscribe to the channel. And we're getting close to a milestone. I'm kind of excited about it. And yeah, thanks for watching. And again, we will call it a day. New hireling, new movement styles coming to DDO for the very first time. We don't know how that's going to be acquired. I'm expecting it to be either a coffer or expansion. All the movement styles in Lord of the Rings Online were granted by coffers, so it might be in a new coffer. We don't know. We'll find out. The Chill of Ravenloft is coming to DDO later this year. We don't know how soon. I'm sure we'll find out the dates soon enough. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day. Bye!